Right then guys, how's it going, and welcome back to Your Football Predictions, the series where you guys go up against me to see who can get the most correct predictions for the upcoming weekend of Premier League football. So those were my predictions up there from the weekend gone. I didn't do too good. I got one correct score, and that was that Spurs would beat Leeds 2-1. It was a pretty tough weekend again. We had two games ending 3-3 with Newcastle, Brentford and Burnley, Crystal Palace. We had Watford beating Manchester United 4-1. In fairness, quite a few people predicted that Watford were going to win that game, but not quite 4-1. And then we also had Liverpool beating Arsenal 4-0 as well. So it wasn't an easy week. Once again, loads of you guys got your predictions in on the last video, so thank you to everyone who got involved. I had 2 or 3 people who got 3 correct scores, but the winners this week with 4 correct scores each. It's not often anyone gets 4 correct scores, so to get 2 people with 4 correct scores was crazy. And the winners are Michael and Who Your Life. Well done to both of you guys. Thank you for getting involved. It's much appreciated. And thank you to all you guys who got your comments in on the last video. Remember, if you want to be shouted out in my next predictions video, be sure to get your predictions in the comments for this weekend's Premier League football. But as always, we will go through those games now. Before we get into the games, I just want to give a quick shout out to my channel members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel as always. So, starting off this Saturday at 12:30 on BT Sport, we have got Arsenal taking on Newcastle. Arsenal sitting in 5th place. They have definitely got their season back on track after losing the first 3 games in a row. They then went on 8 games undefeated, putting themselves in 5th. It's not bad after losing your first 3 games, but as I said earlier, they did lose their game at the weekend 4-0 against Liverpool. They are, however, taking on a Newcastle side who are sat bottom of the league. Only team still to win this season. 3-3 draw against Brentford at the weekend. Really, for me, it should have been 3 points on the board. We still haven't won, but we looked so much better with Eddie Howe in charge. So, do I think Newcastle have a chance this weekend? We certainly have more of a chance than we did before Eddie Howe took over, but I've still got to back Arsenal. I've gone 2-1. If Newcastle can nick a draw, I mean, I'd take the draw now, but I've got to go Arsenal, to be honest. Moving on to the 3 o'clock games. First up, we have got Crystal Palace taking on Aston Villa. Talking about undefeated streaks, Crystal Palace are 7 games undefeated now. A lot of draws in there, but still sitting in 10th. Vieira looking good. Gallagher, the player they've got on loan from Chelsea, is looking incredible as well. In a 3-3 draw with Burnley. I'm pretty sure they were 2-0 up and then 3-2 up. So maybe they'll feel like they should have come away with 3 points there, but still, a great run so far this season. Taking on an Aston Villa side who was sitting in 15th and had lost 5 games in a row until Steven Gerrard took over and then got them a win at the weekend against Brighton. I've gone a bit boring here. I've gone 1-1. I think Villa will definitely be on the bounce with Gerrard in charge now, but as I say, Crystal Palace have done alright, so I'm going to go down the middle with a 1-1. Moving on to the next 3 o'clock kickoff, we have got Liverpool taking on Southampton. So Liverpool currently sitting in 3rd place. As I mentioned, great win for them at the weekend, 4-0 against Arsenal. Currently chasing down Chelsea, who are in the top spot, 4 points behind them. So they are going to want to try and win this one and gain a bit more ground if they can. But I don't think it will be an easy game against a Southampton side who are sitting in 13th, who did have a slow start, but I would say have picked themselves up over the last few games. In the last 5, they've won 3, drawn 1, but they did lose against Norwich at the weekend 2-1. But ultimately, 3 wins out of 5. I would say that's some good recent form. I've gone Liverpool 3-1. Although I think Southampton will definitely put in a good shift. I think Liverpool are incredible, to be honest. Moving on to the next game, Norwich taking on Wolves. Norwich sitting in 19th place. I mean, Farker getting his first win and then getting sacked. And then Dean Smith coming in and then getting his first win as well. So despite the fact that Norwich are sitting in 19th, they have won 2 games in a row. And are certainly looking a lot better than they did, you know, a couple of weeks ago. Taking on a Wolves side who I've no doubt will be happy because they got a fantastic win for them against West Ham at the weekend. I'm pretty sure I backed West Ham at that one and said that, you know, I don't keep picking on Wolves, I promise. But, you know, they showed me wrong. It's a fantastic result in that game. And I'm going to back Wolves this week because I need them to win as a Newcastle fan, to be honest. So I've gone Wolves 1-0 in that one. Moving on to the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday, and it's on Sky. We have got Brighton taking on Leeds. Brighton sitting in 9th place. I think we all know what a great start Brighton had to the season. And I would still say it has been a very good start of the season so far. In the last 7, they've drawn 5 and lost 2. So they are picking up points one at a time in a lot of drawn games. But they haven't won for quite some time. They lost against Aston Villa at the weekend, as I mentioned. Taking on a Leeds side who are sitting in 17th, just out the relegation zone. Their form has been a bit all over. So although Brighton have won a lot of games, although Brighton have drawn a lot of games and not won many, it also means they haven't lost many, whereas Leeds are kind of up and down. In their last 7, they've won 2, they've drawn 2, and they've lost 3. So, and they lost against Spurs at the weekend. So it's on TV. I've gone 2-2. I struggled to pick a winner for this one, but I'm hoping there's going to be some goals. So I've gone for a high score and draw, 2-2. Moving on to the Sunday first game at 2 o'clock on Sky. We have got Brentford taking on Everton. So Brentford sitting in 14th place. Again, Brentford, another side who had a really good start of the season, has wavered a little bit. I think they lost 4 games in a row before the draw against Newcastle at the weekend. So they've got a point back on the board. And in fairness, they've got very similar form, or the exact same form, as Everton in their last 5 games. Both losing 4 and drawing 1 in the last 5. Brentford's draw was against Newcastle, as I say. Everton lost against Man City at the weekend. So, again, Everton, another side who started really well. Both sides started really well, but hasn't been going too good in recent weeks. I have backed, and again, if you'd asked me this at the start of the season, I would have just said Everton. Because Everton started so well. Townsend scoring goals for fun. Brentford with a promoted side. But I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford there. So let me know what you think down below. Moving on, again at 2 o'clock on the Sunday, but it's not on telly. There's a few games at 2 o'clock, but not on the telly. We have got Burnley taking on Spurs. So Burnley sitting in 18th place. You know what? If you look at Burnley's recent form, and this is what I mean, the table's so tight. I mean, other than Newcastle, who can't appear to buy a win, the teams down the bottom, even them, are picking up points here. In the last 7 games, Burnley have drawn 5 and won 1 and lost 1. So they're second bottom, but they've only lost 1 game in the last 7, which is, when I seen that, I thought that was pretty mad. Again, they drew 3-3 with Crystal Palace at the weekend, taking on a Spurs side who are sitting in 7th. Conte got his first win in charge with the 2-1 win against Leeds. From what I saw, had a really bad first half, losing 1-0. Came out second half, won the game. Conte looked very happy in the final whistle when they got the 2-1. And I have backed them to win this one as well. I've gone 1-0 Spurs. I think, again, Burnley are plugging away with the points at a time. I think they could put in a very solid shift here. But I've just had to edge it to Spurs on that one. Moving on again, 2 o'clock Sunday, not on TV. We have got Leicester taking on Watford. So, Leicester sitting in 12th. Not the greatest start from them. Made worse with a 3-0 loss against Chelsea at the weekend. taking on a Watford side who have certainly not been boring this season. In the last 5 games, they lost against Liverpool 5-0. They then beat Everton 5-2. Then they lost against Southampton, lost against Arsenal, and then beat Manchester United 4-1. So it's fair to say Watford have been of some excitement this season so far. And I've backed them to win this one. I've gone 1-0 Watford. It actually flashed up on my screen. Are you sure about this prediction? Because they had it down as being an unlikely result. But I'm going for it. Let me know what you think about that one. And then the final game at 2 o'clock on Sunday is Manchester City versus West Ham. So Man City currently sitting in 2nd place. West Ham sitting in 4th. Both teams having a really good season so far. Both teams trying to chase down Chelsea. Liverpool sitting in 3rd at the minute. Man City got a great win at the weekend, 3-0 against Everton. West Ham had won 4 in a row until they lost the 1-0 against Wolves at the weekend. So yes, that wasn't the greatest of results, but ultimately they've been really good this season. So I don't think they're going to be too disheartened with that. But taking on Man City now, and I've already, you know what, I would say West Ham are a pretty exciting team to watch. I just think with players like Antonio, it's very quick, a lot of, whereas Man City are a lot more controlled, a lot more keep the ball. It's not necessarily the football I find entertaining, if I'm being honest. I want to go back to the old days where it was just a complete run around of who can score the most. But I'll give it 2-1 Man City. I think West Ham could well get a result here, to be honest, because I think they really have been that good. But I just think Man City are at home, and from what I've seen of them, I think they'll probably score and then just pass it around the back for the next 85 minutes. So yeah, we've got Man City to win that one. And then to finish off on the Sunday at 4:30, we have got Chelsea taking on Manchester United. So I should have mentioned at the start, really, there is Champions League, Europa League going on this week, and Chelsea did win their game against Juventus 4-0. Which was a cracking result for them. And Manchester United, despite, you know, Ollie going against Watford, Michael Carrick stepped in and got his win against Villarreal as well. So 2 wins in the midweek for these guys. Chelsea are continuing to play well in the Premier League. In the last 6, they've drawn 1 and won 5. Beat Leicester at the weekend. Manchester United's last 6, drawn 1, won 1, lost 4. Including the Watford game. So if you're looking at that, I'm not surprised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went. And what can Carrick do against Chelsea this weekend as well? I've gone Chelsea 2-0. To be honest, I actually wrote these predictions before Manchester United won their game against Villarreal, so maybe I would have been a little bit nicer had I known that result. But ultimately, I think Chelsea have just been that good. And I would probably back them to beat anyone in the Premier League right now. So those are all of my predictions up there for the games this weekend. Be sure to get your predictions for these games down in the comments below. I will go through all of them before the first game kicks off, which is Saturday at 12:30. So Saturday 12:25 is the cut-off. I will make a note of all of your predictions, and just like I did this weekend, I go through them all, I make a note of them all, and I shout out the winner in next week's video. Alright guys, thanks for watching as always. If you are new and you've watched all the way through to the end of this video and you still haven't subscribed, then please hit the button, because I know loads of you guys like and put your comments in but still haven't hit the subscribe button, so please do it. It makes a big difference to me. And as I say, enjoy the week, enjoy the football, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.